Welcome back to Talk Tensors. Ready to put on our lawyer hats? We're diving into the world of legal summarization today.
Ooh, yeah, should be good.
Specifically how AI is changing the way we handle the huge amounts of information locked away in legal documents.
I know it's a hot topic right now.
It is for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the time and resources we could save if AI could just help us sort through court rulings, contracts, and legislation.
Yeah, that's the dream, right? Make legal information more accessible to everyone.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we'll be looking at a survey paper that just came out this year, a comprehensive survey on legal summarization, challenges, and future directions.
That's a mouthful.
It is, haha, but it's packed with insights. The authors analyzed over 120 research papers from 2017 onward.
The start of the transformer era for machine learning.
Exactly. So we'll get a great overview of where the field is at and where it might be going. Me too. But before we get into the AI side of things, can we just take a step back and talk about why this is such a tough challenge in the first place? Like, what makes legal language so difficult for machines to understand?
Well, for starters, legal texts are just notoriously long and complex.
Oh, tell me about it.
Think about it. Court rulings that go on for hundreds of pages legislation with all these complicated clauses and amendments. It's
a lot. Definitely not look rating. Haha.
And then on top of that, you've got legalese, which is like its own language almost.
Full of jargon and citations and
Convoluted sentence structures. It's not exactly casual conversation.
yeah, you won't catch me reading legal documents for fun.
And to make things even trickier, you have to factor in the fact that legal systems are different all over the world.
Right. A model trained on U.S. law might not work well on legal documents from India, for example.
Exactly. Different legal traditions, different ways of writing and thinking about the law. So researchers really have to consider these regional variations when they're building their models.
It's fascinating how much complexity there is, which makes the progress in legal summarization even more impressive. So let's look at some of that research, starting with the datasets researchers used to train these AI models. The paper mentions quite a few different ones.
Yeah, and it's great to see this diversity because it reflects the different ways legal summarization could be used. A lot of the data sets focus on court rulings.
Makes sense. I guess that's a big part of the legal world.
Definitely. Examples of those are the Brazilian BR dataset for Supreme Court rulings in Brazil, the INABS and INX datasets from India, and LegalSum from Germany.
Wow, so we've got a good geographical spread there. What kinds of summaries are included in these datasets?
It varies quite a bit. Some have headnotes, those short summaries you see at the beginning of legal cases. Others have press releases or summaries written by legal professionals.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about generating one correct summary, but providing different types of summaries depending on who's going to use them.
You got it. The paper actually really emphasizes the need for more user-specific summaries in the future research, but we'll talk more about that later. On top of court rulings, there are also data sets for summarizing legislative documents.
Oh, so like bills and laws and things like that.
Exactly. There's BillSum, which is all about U.S. bills, and then there's EUR-LexSum, which covers EU legislation.
I'm guessing EUR-LexSum has to deal with multiple languages then.
You bet it covers 24 different languages. Shows how research is starting to tackle the multilingual challenge.
That's impressive. Are there any other data sets that are particularly interesting?
Oh, there's one that really caught my eye. It's called the TOSDR dataset, and it's used for summarizing privacy policies.
You mean those super long and confusing things we all agree to without reading?
Yep. Imagine if an AI could actually help us understand what we're signing up for.
That would be amazing. Okay, so we've got all these data sets covering a ton of legal documents. Now let's talk about how researchers actually make those summaries happen. The paper highlights two main approaches: extractive and abstractive summarization. Can you walk us through those?
Sure. So with extractive summarization, the model basically acts like a really smart highlighter.
Oh, okay, I get it.
It finds the most important sentences from the original document and then pieces them together to create a summary. It's good at staying true to the facts, but sometimes the summary can feel choppy.
Because you're just taking bits and pieces from the original.
Right, exactly. Researchers use all sorts of techniques for this, from simple rule-based systems to fancier machine learning algorithms like TextRank. And then you've got deep learning models like BERT and LSTMs. Those are becoming more popular for extractive summarization.
So like creating a legal Cliff Notes version.
You got it. And then we move on to abstractive summarization. Now, this is where things get really interesting.
This is the more AI magic approach.
Totally. Abstractive models don't just pull out sentences. They try to really grasp the meaning of the text, and then they write a brand new summary in their own words. just like a human would.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. This is where those powerful transformer models shine. BART and Pegasus. They can write summaries that sound surprisingly human.
It's almost like having an AI paralegal who reads a document and then explains it to you in plain English.
That's a great way to think about it, but it's not perfect. Abstractive summarization is hard to get right. These models can sometimes misunderstand the text or even make up information that wasn't in the original.
Oh, wow, so they can hallucinate.
Yep. That's why there's still a lot of work to be done on making abstractive summarization more accurate and reliable.
Especially when we're talking about legal documents. Accuracy is key, which leads to the next big question. How do researchers even know if an AI summary is good? How do they measure the quality?
Now that is the million-dollar question. It's not easy, that's for sure, especially in law where accuracy is so important.
I bet. It can't just be checking for grammar mistakes or whether it's easy to read.
Definitely not. Researchers use a combo of automated metrics and human evaluation. Automated metrics like the ARJ metric basically compare the AI summary with a human-written one looking for overlapping words.
So they can tell if the AI is using similar words, but not necessarily if it's capturing the legal meaning correctly.
You got it. They're good for a quick check, but not the whole picture.
Got it. So that's where humans come in.
Exactly. Human evaluation involves getting legal experts to judge the summaries. They look at things like accuracy, coherence, relevance, and overall quality.
Sounds like the gold standard, but probably also super time-consuming and expensive.
Oh, it definitely is. It's tough to convince busy legal experts to spend time evaluating AI summaries. And even then, there's always going to be some subjectivity in human judgments. Different experts might have slightly different ideas of what makes a good legal summary.
So it sounds like finding better ways to evaluate legal summaries is a big challenge for the field.
Huge. The paper really stresses the need for new evaluation methods that can handle both the objective and subjective sides of legal summarization, which actually ties into some of the other challenges and future directions highlighted in the paper.
Oh, perfect. Let's talk about those.
Yeah.
The paper mentions needing more user-specific summaries. What does that mean exactly?
Well, think about the different ways people might use legal summaries. A judge might need a quick overview of the main arguments in a case. A lawyer might need a summary that focuses on specific legal precedents. And someone who's not a lawyer might just need a simple explanation of a legal document.
So one size doesn't fit all when it comes to legal summaries.
Exactly. The challenge is building AI models that can tailor their summaries to different users. That means understanding not just the legal content, but also the context.
Makes sense. Seems like a really interesting area for future research.
Yeah.
What other challenges did they highlight?
Another area that needs more work is creating multi-reference data sets. We talked earlier about how human evaluation can be subjective. Well, even legal experts might write slightly different summaries for the same document, maybe focusing on different aspects or using different wording.
So we need to show AI models this range of human perspectives if we want them to write really good summaries.
Exactly. That's where multi-reference data sets come in. They give a richer picture of what a good summary can be.
That makes a lot of sense. The paper also mentions domain-specific embeddings. Can you explain what those are?
Sure. Imagine you're teaching an AI to understand legalese. If you just give it a regular dictionary, it's going to miss a lot of the nuances.
It wouldn't understand the legal context.
Right. Domain-specific embeddings are like giving the AI a special legal dictionary and grammar guide.
So instead of just knowing what consideration means, the model would understand its specific meaning in contract law.
Exactly. That's why training language models on tons of legal text is so important. The model learns how legal concepts relate to each other and develops a deeper understanding of how legal language works.
Like building an AI lawyer.
You got it. There's some cool stuff happening in this area with projects like Law2Vec and LegalBERT.
Wow, so domain-specific embeddings are key for better legal summarization.
Big time. And then there's another challenge the paper addresses: the sheer length of legal documents. We're talking court rulings and legislation that can be thousands of pages long.
That's a lot of text.
It's a huge challenge for current AI models, which usually work with much shorter texts.
It's like trying to summarize War and Peace in one paragraph. You're bound to miss something important.
Perfect analogy. We need new techniques that can handle these massive legal texts without losing accuracy.
So we need to improve the AI's language skills and figure out how to manage all that data.
Exactly. But it goes beyond the technical stuff, too. The paper also talks about expanding legal summarization to more than just traditional documents.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Legal information isn't just in court rulings and laws. It's in news articles, opinions, research papers, even courtroom transcripts.
Wow, that's a lot to keep track of.
Right. Imagine an AI that could summarize all these different types of content. It could help us make sense of all that information.
That would be incredibly useful. So legal summarization could go beyond lawyers and become a tool for everyone.
Exactly. And that's where we start to get into novel notions territory. The paper hints at some exciting future directions for the field.
All right, I'm ready for some mind-blowing ideas.
Well, one that really caught my attention is multimodal legal summarization. Imagine an AI that could not only summarize court transcripts, but also analyze the tone of voice and facial expressions of witnesses and lawyers.
Wait, so it would understand the emotions behind the words.
Exactly. It could help us see not just what was said in court, but how it was said. Maybe even pick up on subtle clues about whether a witness is telling the truth or if a lawyer's argument is really convincing.
That's amazing. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but also brings up some ethical questions about AI and the legal system.
For sure. It's definitely pushing the boundaries, but that's what makes it so exciting. And speaking of pushing boundaries, another novel notion is personalized legal summarization.
Personalized summaries, what would that look like?
Imagine this.
Hmm.
You need to understand a complicated legal document, like a contract. Your AI assistant steps in and summarizes it, but it doesn't just give you any old summary. It creates one specifically for you, based on your level of legal knowledge, your needs, and even your learning style.
Wow, it'd be like having a personal legal tutor who explains things in a way I can understand.
Exactly. Personalized legal summarization could be a game changer for making legal info accessible to everyone.
It would definitely make things fairer. Everyone deserves to understand their legal rights and obligations, no matter who they are or what their background is.
I totally agree. And this is where those domain-specific embeddings we talked about could be crucial. The AI could use them to understand your legal context and vocabulary and give you a truly personalized summary.
It's amazing to think about how this technology could change things. It can empower people to navigate the legal system with more confidence and understanding.
Absolutely. And it's not just about individuals. Personalized summarization could also revolutionize legal research and education. Imagine law students being able to quickly grasp complex legal concepts or lawyers getting instant summaries of relevant case law.
So legal summarization is moving from a niche research area to a technology that could change the entire field.
I think that's right. And this paper does a fantastic job of showing us both the potential and the challenges of this rapidly evolving field.
This has been an eye-opening deep dive for me. Before we wrap up, is there anything you want to emphasize for our listeners?
Of course. First, legal summarization has huge potential and could benefit everyone from legal professionals to everyday people. Second, we're making awesome progress in this field thanks to deep learning and transformer models.
And of course, as with any powerful technology, we need to think about the ethical implications.
Absolutely. We need to make sure these AI legal tools are developed and used responsibly, with fairness, transparency, and accessibility in mind.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredible, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for legal summarization.
Me too. It's a field ripe for innovation, and I'm sure we'll see even more exciting developments in the years to come.
And don't forget to check out the survey paper yourselves. We'll link to it in the show notes. Keep those tensors talking, and we'll catch you in our next deep dive.
It definitely makes you think, that's for sure. But those ethical questions are part of what makes this whole area so interesting. And speaking of pushing boundaries, there's another novel notion the paper talks about: personalized legal summarization.
Personalized summaries. So, like, what would that involve?
Imagine this. You've got a complicated legal document in front of you. Could be a contract, could be a new law. Your AI assistant jumps in and summarizes it for you, but not just any old summary. It takes into account your level of legal knowledge, your specific needs, and even how you learn best, and creates a summary just for you.
Wow, that's incredible. It'd be like having a personal legal expert who explains everything clearly, without all the jargon.
Exactly. Personalized legal summarization could really change the game, make legal information accessible to everyone.
It would definitely level the playing field. Everyone deserves to understand their legal rights and responsibilities, regardless of their background.
Absolutely. And this is where those domain-specific embeddings we talked about earlier would really come in handy. By understanding your legal context and vocabulary, the AI could make sure the summary is tailored perfectly to you.
It's amazing to think about the impact this kind of technology could have. It could empower people to navigate the legal system with confidence and understanding.
Definitely. And it goes beyond just individuals, too. Personalized summarization could revolutionize legal research and education as well. Imagine law students being able to grasp complex concepts quickly with summaries made just for their level of understanding, or lawyers instantly getting summaries of relevant case law that's tailored to their specific case.
So legal summarization isn't just a niche research area anymore. It's becoming a technology that could transform the entire legal field.
I think that's a great way to put it. And this survey paper does a fantastic job of capturing both the excitement and the challenges of this rapidly developing field.
It's definitely been an eye-opening deep dive for me. Before we wrap things up, is there anything you'd like to emphasize for our listeners?
Absolutely. First, legal summarization has enormous potential to benefit everyone, from legal professionals to everyday citizens. Second, we're seeing incredible progress in this field, thanks in large part to advancements in deep learning and transformer models.
And of course, as with any powerful technology, we need to consider the ethical implications.
Precisely. We have to ensure that these AI-powered legal tools are developed and used responsibly with fairness, transparency, and accessibility as guiding principles.
Well said. This deep dive has been absolutely fascinating. I can't wait to see what the future holds for legal summarization.
Me neither. It's a field ripe for innovation, and I have no doubt we'll see even more exciting developments in the coming years.
Don't forget to check out the survey paper yourself, folks. We'll link to it in the show notes. Keep those tensors talking, and we'll catch you in our next deep dive.